Hello everyone, Kent.Bressler here. I want to welcome you to Kent's Kidney Stories. During our time together over these podcasts, I'd like to discuss kidney disease. I'd like to tell you about my journey as a transplant patient, but also talk about dialysis, kidney donation, and just about anything else that might be of interest. Kent's Kidney Stories, podcast endorsed and sponsored by kidneysolutions.org. Hello, everybody. This is Kent.Bressler. Really excited about doing some more podcasting. I've been having a great time with this. I want to start before I introduce what we're going to be doing. I want to just start with prayer. So, bow your heads and let's pray. Father God, this earthly world is in chaos and turmoil, probably more so than some can bear. Our human weaknesses oftentimes overshadow your willingness to protect us. We only need to pray and give thanks, for we know that you are with us all the days of our lives. We may not say it enough or praise you enough, but we do thank you for all you've done for us. Amen. I wanted to give a shout out, and I'm going to just butcher her last name. Let's just say it to Karen. She'll know who, Karen M. She'll know who I'm talking about when she listens to this. She wrote me a letter. She picked up our podcast and wrote me an email. And told me that she's a grandma. She's the same age as I am, in her 70s, and said that her grandson, very young, 22 years old, was on dialysis, and that she felt that he'd kind of like given up. And when she heard some of the podcasts, she thought she would email me and ask me what my opinion would be, or get assistance. Needless to say, we have developed a great relationship, and I think we're working in the right direction to help her grandson. But I just wanted to tell her, through all of this, keep listening to the podcast and call me anytime you want to. And eventually that grandson of yours is going to call me, and we'll help him. But in the interim, don't alienate yourself. Don't drive a wedge between him. The other thing will work. Trust me. It will all work out. I will say a prayer for you, and everything will work out. Time will take its course, and we'll get to a resolution, and he will get help. He'll know it, and you'll know it. And Kidney Solutions is here for you, pal. We love you. That's all I can say. I'm gonna jump. I'm giggling because everybody's done this, and everybody's probably tired of listening to it, but I'm going to dive into COVID. How do you like that today? But hopefully we can make some sense of what's been happening. I don't know if there's sense to it at all, actually. But anyway, I first wanted to talk to you a little bit about, as my journey's gone over the last 33 years, when you're first diagnosed with kidney disease, each of us exhibit different responses to the news. You think about it when you were told, you've got kidney disease. Well, you go, well, okay, so what's that mean? I had enough education at the time that when I was shocked. I knew I was sick. I knew I had something going on. I'd been dealing with it on the periphery for several years, 2 or 3 at least. And when I was told it, I still really didn't get it. Being told that my kidneys were failing and there was no cure scared the hell out of me, got to be honest. Pardon me if I offended anybody. I had 2 kids and a wife to take care of, and how was I going to do that with kidney disease? That's the first thing that came into my mind. Initially, I went through a denial process, even knowing I had something going on, knew what it is now. I said, maybe it'll get better. But I soon realized that wasn't true. It didn't get better. It kept getting worse every time I'd go to the doctor, getting worse. So I got busy finding out what all my options were. I even did a rotation through, as an RN, did a rotation through dialysis clinic. Worked there for a while. I knew right away that I wanted to get a transplant. Okay, I knew that I did not want to go on dialysis. I knew enough about it that I knew I didn't want to do that. Fortunately for me, I had a great physician, Dr. Mulgrew, a nephrologist in San Antonio. And when I told him, look, I don't want to get a transplant, I don't want to get on dialysis, I want to get a transplant as quickly as I can, he said, I'm in full agreement. I don't think you do well on dialysis, so let's do that. Let's work on that. And the rest is history. That one act alone, I think, just the fact that I accepted the fact that I had kidney disease gave me all the alternatives. So I guess if you're listening to this and you haven't accepted the fact that kidney disease is progressive and you know that your condition is progressing, I encourage you to flat out work to get a transplant. Okay? So that when you go to the doctor, you can tell them, look, I want to do this. How do I do it? You give me a call, I'll help you with it. Okay, so that's that. So usually I would say when I was in the coffee shop yesterday, I heard, well, I don't go to the coffee shop anymore. I don't go to restaurants anymore. But I know you've heard this being said, and let me run it by you. When do you think we'll ever get back to normal? Which happens to be the word normal. Okay, so let me tell you a story. I'll probably really kind of mess it up, but I hope it comes out clear. If you remember Doc Holliday and Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday had a really bad lung condition, tuberculosis, and was dying. And Wyatt was on a tear. He had lots of people after him to, be the sheriff, and there'd been a lot of killing going on in his life. And so here, picture the scene with Doc's on his deathbed, right? And Wyatt comes in, sits down with him, and they play cards. And Doc wasn't interested in anything he had to say. He was dying, and Wyatt couldn't figure out why he was dying. Couldn't see it, but he knew he was, but he just couldn't see it. So after this scene goes, Wyatt gets up and puts cards down. He starts out the door and he turns around to Doc and he said, "Hey, Doc," he said, "what makes Ringo like that?" He's a really ruthless person, and Doc says, "Well, he's got a hole, and he can't fill it up. He's got to kill." And he looked at him. He said, "Well, he's going to kill me." And Doc says, "Yeah, probably." And then Wyatt says to him classically, "Doc, all I wanted was a normal life. That's all I asked for, is a normal life." And Doc looked at him and he said, "Wyatt, there's no normal life. There's just life." And that really resonated with me because we're living in some pretty difficult times now. You think about this COVID. You're living it right now. You're listening, you're living this. You're probably isolated just like most of us, or, depending on where you live. But this COVID-19 has literally stopped us in our tracks. Schools are closed, restaurants are closed, places of business were closed down. People were told to stay home, shelter in. No more hugging, no more shaking hands. and told you need to wash your hands for at least 2 minutes, wear a mask, and observe a distance of 6 feet from others, and avoid crowds, among all the other things that we were encouraged to do. And in essence, it changed us completely. Okay? I'm a 70-year-old, totally immunocompromised kidney transplant patient who's at high risk for COVID-19. I've had several friends, many of them transplant friends, who've had COVID. I've had them come down with test positive, be in the hospital, some have been convalesced at home. And I've had a friend, although not a transplant, who died. Now, this business is scary. I've never experienced anything like this in my life. And after 70 years, I've seen a lot of things like HIV, Ebola, all of these things. This one scares me. My wife had to close her business and eventually lost it and her lease. So, she's had some reflection. Many people have lost their jobs, their businesses. And the phenomenon of working at home's come up. So that's changed the environment. And living in Texas, we really actually enjoyed a hiatus from what was going on the East Coast early on, February, March, April, and May. When New York was inundated, New Jersey out on the East Coast with the virus, people were dying left and right. And we had relatively few cases and no deaths in the little town that I live of 20,000 people. So we were on all the restrictions that everybody was nationwide. And so the governor said, well, it's about time to open up our economy and loosen up some of the restrictions, but we're going to do it on a limited basis, a very limited basis. And things slowly opened, restaurants, with stipulations, how many people could be in there, what percentage, half of people, the occupancy, 75% occupancy. Beauty and nail salons, barbershops, finally bars, they all opened with restrictions. And then came Memorial Day. Now that weekend came, and let me tell you, everyone was on the loose. Sure enough, if you look back at the numbers, 2 weeks after Memorial Day, it started. This upward trends of cases of COVID, more testing, finding more positives, more admissions to the hospital, and now more deaths. And the hospital ICUs have become full. They're overflowing, okay? They've reached their critical mass, and they're opening alternative, like in San Antonio, alternative places to bed down the sick, so to speak. They're full. The exact thing that we didn't want to happen has happened. So again, you say, when will we be back to normal? I don't know. Maybe this is the new normal. I don't think we'll ever, I know I will never go back to what I thought was normal. I doubt very much if I'll ever see the inside of a casino again or get to see the Eagles in concert with 25,000 other people. It's one thing for sure. You're listening from the standpoint of a kidney transplant recipient. That's what I am. I am at high risk for COVID. I've always been careful. I've always taken heed to wash my hands. Although I didn't mask up when I was working, when we knew patients went, I did mask up. I mask and gowned. So things have changed for me, but this idea of now having to wash my hands, wearing a mask, and generally staying away from crowds, is not lost on me. It's going to happen. And I do stay home as much as I can. There is some backtracking where we are right now. The bars have been closed. The restaurants have been minimized again, that down from 75 to 50% occupancy. Barbershops and beauty salons are still open. But there's been a call directly for people to stay home. Not mandatory. Mandatory not to wear a mask, but encouraged. I don't know the answer to this. That's the political side of it. I know what's good for me. All right. Wearing a mask, washing my hands, and staying home as much as possible, staying away from crowds. That's what's good for me. That's what's good for transplant patients. That's what's good for compromised patients and the elderly, unfortunately. So, am I scared? Nah. I'm just sorry this has all happened. We've gone through tough times before, and we've always prevailed. And so, the best advice I have is to be your own person, be your own advocate. Don't buy into the quote, "It's not that bad" idea. Don't buy into that this is a hoax or that it's not bad. This virus is a killer. It is lethal. And if you are a transplant patient and don't get that, shame on you. You need to get with it real quick. Because if you get this virus, and I've gotten this on good notice from friends who've had it, you're going to be in the fight for your life. Period. No holds barred. And to be right honest with you, I'd like to have you around, so pay attention. I'd miss you. Just like I know my family would miss me. And wear a mask. Wash your hands. Stay at home as much as possible. Stay away from crowds. Do what you've always done your whole life. Know that infections seek you out when you're immunosuppressed. If you don't understand immunosuppression, get with somebody who knows. Let them tell you what it actually means, what you're susceptible to. Your doctor would be a great one. We're in a period of time when you don't get to go in and see your doctor. We're in the telemedicine time. It's important to understand that that's a very important time for you. Your doctor's appointment is essential. If it is being done on Zoom or house party or whatever way that they're doing that for telemedicine, you still have the opportunity to tell them what's wrong and show them. All right. Don't just think it's a little 5-minute blast. How are you? So long. Goodbye. We'll see you in 3 weeks or 3 months or 6 months. No, go packed and ready. Talk about it. All right. Talk about what you need. And I think the most important thing we can take away from this is not to look at it politically, but to look at it from a health standpoint. You have got to be fit. I'm talking about you yourself. If you want to drag somebody else in here with you, that's fine, but you have got to keep yourself fit. Because a fit person is a sound person and can fight off illness, and you need, if you're immunosuppressed, you need every option available to you to survive. That means you got to exercise physically every day, mentally and emotionally exercise every day. Find things that will challenge you mentally. If you have friends, call them. Don't get emotionally drained, and don't become mentally deficient. You have to stay sharp. Don't gain any weight, please. Try to maintain your weight. And in all honesty, all I want you to do is do what it takes to be healthy. You have a kidney on board that's very, very fragile. And that fragility is detrimental to your health if you don't respond and take care. So let me leave you with this. Instead of looking for normal, accept what is and adjust. Because that's what life's all about. It's a constant battle of adjustments. And in your case, moderation is your best choice. Moderate, do everything in moderation, and adjust. I can't think of anything more delicate right now than where we are. We don't have anybody that can predict where this is going to end up. But I do know one thing for sure, and I don't have to even read the newspaper or listen to the news. This virus is not going away. It's here, all right? And you can't poo-poo it. You can't say with impunity that, quote, you won't get it. Because trust me, if as it's around, your chances of getting it and you're out, you have just as good a chance, if not better chance, than a person who has a normal immune system. So let's pay real close attention to the detail. Remember who you are, but most of all, remember that we're thinking about you. Kidney Solutions is available at just about any time you want to talk. There's opportunity after opportunity for you to get out, either on the internet or some way of reaching out to people and telling them that you're there, that you're willing to help. So exercise, maintain your diet, take your medicines, control your BP, maintain your wealth, your weight, and don't vacillate. Don't wait. Do it now. Take care of yourself. For now, keep breathing.